Hi, this is Jason from Horrific Nightmares, and it's time for a controversial view. This time, Joe and I picked Sleepaway Camp, which should be controversy in itself. Sleepaway Camp is an interesting one. It's one that I saw when I was younger. Um, my buddy and I rented this and Pieces one weekend when his parents were away and watched them both, and it was a pretty interesting experience. Of course, we rented Pieces because it was a little bit more extreme, but we rented Sleepaway Camp because I always love the cover. I think this cover is amazing with the letter and the shoe and the knife and everything like that. I always love the cover. So we rent these and we take them back to the house, and we watched Sleepaway Camp first because we wanted to watch Pieces at night because it's a horror. Well, they're both horror movies, but Pieces is supposed to be a little bit more extreme. And um, yeah, my mouth was pretty much hanging open at the end. In case, I mean, I'm sure pretty much everyone has seen Sleepaway Camp, so the ending shouldn't be much of a shock anymore. It still gets me though. I don't know. It's just, I guess, I know I'm expecting it, but it's just still, it's still kind of out there. But anyway, um, let's put a controversial view on Sleepaway Camp. Now, of course, the main controversy of the film is the fact that Felissa Rose at the very end is a naked guy with her head kind of pasted on there, which I always think is kind of funny now that when I watch it. Um, and they had to find somebody to match her body type. I believe Joe told me it was a Filipino actor, if I remember correctly. But yeah, that's always been the major controversy with Sleepaway Camp. Apparently, this film still causes drama, even though it's been made many, many years ago. I mean, we can't really change history. And I would be kind of irritated, I think, if someone went back and edited the end out, because that's the big twist. It was so different for its time. Not to mention, you have the cook at the camp, and he is kind of a sketchy type, kind of a child molestery sort of person. I don't think that would go over too well in today's society either. But when I was talking to Joe about this, because I looked up some stuff about it, and apparently there are a lot of conversations and arguments on horror websites about Sleepaway Camp, about how it's offensive and how it paints LGBT, whatever, in a not positive light. You kind of have to, um, well, first of all, they need to be a little bit less sensitive, especially to a movie that has been out for so many years. Um, this was very different for its time, like I said, and it's a product of its time. And I think we have to keep that in mind when we're talking about controversy and stuff that's happened in the past. Everybody wants to change history. That's not the right way of going about doing things, believe me. So, a couple more interesting things about Sleepaway Camp is this was Mike Kellens, and he played the head counselor at the summer camp. This was his last movie, in fact, and he died 3 months before the film came out of lung cancer, which is sad. I always remember him. He always had that gruff voice, and I remember him from other things when I was growing up. Now, this is also the camp when he was younger that he went to. The camp that they filmed at is the camp that he went to when he was a young kid. And I thought that was pretty cool as well. And another interesting thing is I think it was Felissa Rose didn't utter a word until 31 minutes into the film. I think it was 31 minutes. But she was actually paid 5 grand for her performance. That's pretty low, especially with someone who is in the film for a majority of the film. And of course, the big twist is about her. Now, one of the things I didn't like about the film, I liked it back then. Now, because things have gotten so high tech, one of the scenes you can clearly see is not her as the killer when they show the shadow in the doorway. I think because of the high definition and everything like that, it's pretty plain to see that it's not Felissa Rose. Um, Even though it was supposed to kind of look like her, it wasn't. It wasn't her. And I think that's where, when we get stuff in high definition from VHS transfers and from DVD transfers and stuff like that, when you go back and watch the older stuff, you cannot see it as well. So, it really makes a big difference, I think, when you can see it in high def. And an example I'm going to give is Mortuary. Now, Mortuary is when I originally saw it on VHS and was a big, it was one of the big shock twist endings where you realize who it is. Well, since it's been made in high definition, you can tell who the killer is right away because you can clearly see their face. Not so much on a lot of the older mediums. So, it has its good points and its bad points, I guess. But yeah. As Joe always says, we watch these movies so you don't have to, but I really do suggest don't worry about the controversy for Sleepaway Camp. It's just a fun horror movie that's very much of its time, and it has one heck of a twist at the end. Remember, guys, physical media matters. And until next time.